Anna Taborska writes horror stories and screenplays. Her body of work includes 3 short story collections: Bloody Britain, Shadow Cats, and For Those Who Dream Monsters, which was the recipient of the Dracula Society's Children of the Night Award. Anna's stories have appeared in over 40 anthologies, including The Best Horror of the Year, Volume 4, Best New Writing 2011, Best British Horror 2014, Year's Best Weird Fiction Volume 1, Best New Werewolf Tales Volume 1, and Nightmares, A New Decade of Modern Horror. She has been nominated for a British Fantasy Award thrice and for a Bram Stoker Award 5 times, including for her illustrated storybook, A Song for Barnaby Jones. Anna has also directed 5 films, including the award-winning drama The Rain Has Stopped, and worked on 20 other film and TV productions, such as the BBC PBS series Auschwitz, the Nazis, and The Final Solution. So, Anna, I wish you weren't so lazy and you could get a little more done. You're very, very prolific. While you're reading, I will put some things in the chat for everybody, and go ahead and start when you're ready.
Elaine, thank you for the introduction. I'm going to read an extract from my story, Mummy Mia, in which an Egyptian mummy is found in a flat in West London, and eventually it turns out that it's the mummy of a young priestess called Mia who met a grisly death. Her tongue was cut out and she was sealed alive in a tomb over 2,500 years earlier. And in this extract, scientists are trying to recreate her voice by animating her vocal cords, which have been pretty well preserved. Dr. Hendon continued to hold Mia's mouth open, while Bob gently pushed a thick, large, plastic-encased, blunt-tipped needle past the shriveled stump of her mutilated tongue and towards her vocal folds. The proboscis-like instrument was attached to a device that combined a small portable respirator with an electric impulse generator and would produce the stimulation needed to activate Mia's vocal cords. "Ready?" asked Bob. Mutterings of agreement reassured him that they were. Holding the metal tip of the probe against Mia's vocal cords, Bob cast a final quick look at the settings on the attached device, then pressed the power button. For a moment, there was silence, or so it seemed. Everyone waited with bated breath, and just as Bob was about to make a second attempt, they heard it, a sound the likes of which none of them had ever heard before. It started so softly that it was no sound at all, and then it swelled, low-pitched, eldritch, unnerving, like a death rattle, like a gust of diseased air blowing through papyrus reeds, like the dry desert wind that brings locusts and madness. It grew in volume and in pitch, becoming a woman's cry of pain and terror, and then a blood-curdling animal roar of boundless rage. The overhead neon lights flickered. The film crew's light went out. The camera battery failed, and objects in the lab started to vibrate as though their fundamental frequency had been triggered. Then the electronic device that was animating the mummy's vocal cords fell to the floor, taking the probe that had been inserted into Mia's mouth with it, and the room was plunged into silence once more. As the stunned team recovered from their experiment, eyes glued to the desiccated remains before them, they failed to notice the vast, two-legged, lioness-headed shadow that rose from the darkness at the far end of the lab, moved behind a row of tables, then disappeared.